74 people, including 12 children, have been killed in a fire at an apartment block in Johannesburg. South Africa's president visits the scene.
Johannesburg has never had an incident like this where so many people die as a result of a fire in the center of the city. So this is tragic.
We report from the Philippines, where tensions with Beijing are rising over territory in the South China Sea. The UK has a new defence secretary. We'll ask how Grant Shapps will approach relations with China. It sounds like a cock and bull story. We'll hear about the man pulled over for driving with a real-life bull in the passenger seat. Now, dozens of women may have been groomed into online sex work by a group fronted by the controversial social media influencer Andrew Tate. The BBC has uncovered messages linked to his secretive all-male organisation called the War Room. It teaches its members for a fee how to exploit potential victims by emotionally manipulating and socially isolating them. Andrew Tate has separately been charged with rape and human trafficking in Romania and is due to face trial. He denies all the allegations. And Gabon has been suspended as a member of the African Union following Wednesday's coup in the Central African nation. The new military leadership says the transitional leader, General Brice Oligui Nguema, will be sworn in as president on Monday. He was carried through the streets of the capital, Libreville, by his troops earlier. President Biden says he'll visit Florida on Friday as officials there assess the damage from Hurricane Idalia. The storm system hit parts of the U.S. Gulf Coast as a Category 3 hurricane before being downgraded to a tropical storm. Governor Ron DeSantis said the storm was far less destructive than had been feared, but property losses of over $9 billion have been predicted. The FIFA president, Gianni Infantino, has spoken out about the aftermath of the Women's World Cup final for the first time, saying Spanish Association chief Luis Rubiales' kiss on the mouth of star Jenny Hermoso should have never happened. Infantino said the behavior of Spanish Federation boss had spoiled the occasion. The Spanish Federation has called on Mr. Rubiales to resign over the incident.
Two leaders of the Proud Boys received some of the longest sentences yet for ties to the January 6th riot. A US court has sentenced two members of the far-right Proud Boys militia to long prison terms for storming the US Capitol building in January 2021. Joseph Biggs, the former leader of the Proud Boys, was given 17 years, one of the longest sentences among the hundreds convicted for the Capitol attack. Prosecutors say Biggs was a key figure in the organised attempts to forcibly overturn President Joe Biden's 2020 election victory. Another leader, Zachary Rell, received 15 years. Former Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro and his wife opted to remain silent on Thursday after being questioned by federal police over allegations of trying to sell jewellery and other official gifts from foreign countries. It's the latest legal case Mr. Bolsonaro is facing, with the couple denying any wrongdoing. A new Texas law banning gender-affirming care for trans youth will go into effect on September 1st after the state Supreme Court overturned a lower court's ruling. Under the new law, transgender minors will be prevented from accessing hormone therapies and transition surgeries. More than 20 states have adopted similar laws banning this type of healthcare for minors. Grant Shapps has been named as the UK's new Defence Secretary in a mini reshuffle of Prime Minister Rishi Sunak's cabinet. Shapps replaces Ben Wallace, who is leaving politics. The appointment was not widely expected, with Shapps having held 5 ministerial jobs in the past year. US Supreme Court Justice Clarence Thomas has disclosed that he took 3 trips aboard a Republican donor's private plane last year. Justice Thomas cited security concerns as the reason he accepted the travel. The Conservative judge says failing to previously report the hospitality had been inadvertent. He is required to file annual financial disclosure forms. There's new evidence of tension around long-standing territorial disputes in the South China Sea. Officials in the Philippines have told the BBC they will not be intimidated by a Chinese ship using water cannon against Filipino Coast Guards approaching a contested reef. China has long claimed a considerable expanse of the sea as its own waters. the area within the red dotted line that you can see here, and that's in contrast to the internationally recognised system that you can see here marked in blue, assigning countries in the region waters 200 nautical miles out from their coast. In the centre of this part of the sea are the disputed Spratly Islands.